Dear you, I'm writing to you from a version of yourself who remembers the quiet ache of feeling like your sense of purpose was slipping through your fingers. It wasn't a sudden loss. It didn't collapse in one dramatic moment. It was slow, subtle, like watching the sun set earlier each day until one morning you realized the light you depended on had faded. You didn't know when it happened. You just knew that the things that once felt meaningful now felt strangely hollow, distant, or disconnected from the person you were becoming. I remember how you tried to keep going, how you told yourself that purpose would return if you just pushed harder. You repeated routines, followed expectations, held on to goals you had set long ago because you didn't know what else to reach for. But the spark that once kept you moving had dimmed, and every step felt heavier than the last. You didn't want to admit it, but you felt lost inside your own life. You looked around and saw people chasing dreams, building futures, creating meaning, and you wondered why you couldn't feel the same clarity. You wondered why your direction had blurred, why your heart felt unanchored, why nothing felt quite right anymore. You feared that maybe you had lost something essential, your ambition, your drive, your identity. But what hurt the most was not the lack of purpose itself. It was the loneliness of holding that feeling in silence. You didn't know how to explain that nothing was wrong, yet nothing felt right. You didn't know how to say, I don't know who I'm supposed to be anymore. You didn't want to worry anyone. You didn't want to disappoint anyone. So you smiled, nodded, showed up, and hoped no one noticed the emptiness quietly forming inside you. I remember the heaviness in your chest when you woke up unsure why you were doing what you were doing. I remember the nights when you stared at the ceiling, trying to remember the last time you felt excited about anything. I remember the guilt you felt for being unmotivated, even though your heart was simply tired from holding uncertainty for too long. You weren't broken for feeling that way. You weren't failing. You weren't drifting without reason. You were simply standing at the edge of a chapter that no longer fit you, without yet knowing what the next one would look like. Your past self understands now that losing your sense of purpose did not mean your life was falling apart. It meant your soul was outgrowing the old reasons you once lived by. Purpose isn't stagnant. It shifts, transforms, dissolves, and reforms throughout life. And sometimes, before a new purpose can bloom, the old one must quietly fall away. You weren't empty. You were clearing space. You weren't directionless. You were transitioning. You weren't unmotivated. You were being called inward. Purpose is often shaped in silence. It's shaped in moments when nothing makes sense. It's shaped in the pauses between who you were and who you're becoming. And during that silent shaping, life can feel confusing, heavy, or uncertain. Not because you're lost, but because you're changing. Your past self sees now that you had been carrying goals that no longer resonated with your heart. You were pushing yourself toward destinations chosen by old versions of you. Versions shaped by fear, expectation, or external validation. When those versions dissolved, their goals dissolved with them, leaving you with a strange emptiness you didn't understand. But emptiness is not absence. It is preparation, It is fertile ground. It is the quiet before a new direction reveals itself. You thought purpose was something you had to chase, something you had to build through discipline or force. But purpose is something that grows when you reconnect with yourself, your values, your desires, your truth. When those inner foundations shift, your outer world temporarily loses shape. That's why everything felt blurry. You weren't failing to find purpose. You were shedding everything that wasn't meant to be part of the next chapter. And the exhaustion you felt wasn't laziness. It was emotional friction. A sign that you were trying to walk paths you had outgrown. A sign your heart wanted something different, something deeper, something truer. Your past self wants you to know this. You didn't lose your purpose. You were evolving beyond it. And evolution always feels like confusion before it feels like clarity. Now I'm speaking to the version of you who lives today. The you who still feels unsure. The you who wonders when clarity will return. The you who fears living without purpose for too long. Take a slow breath. Let it settle inside your chest, like something warm and patient. Here is the truth you've been needing. You will find purpose again. Not the old one, a new one. One that fits who you are now, not who you used to be. It won't arrive suddenly. It will grow quietly, gently, through small moments of honesty, through things that spark even the slightest curiosity, through the tiniest shifts in what makes your heart feel alive, through noticing what brings you peace, what brings you energy, what brings you meaning. Purpose isn't a destination. It's a direction, a feeling, a resonance, a quiet knowing that whispers, "This matters." You won't force your way into it. You will grow into it naturally as you rediscover your own rhythms, redefine your own values, and reconnect with your authentic self. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. You don't need a grand vision. You don't need to rush. You only need to stay open, stay curious, stay gentle with yourself, stay willing to listen to the small signals inside you. One day soon, you will feel a spark again. Slight, soft, but unmistakably real. And that spark will lead to something meaningful, something aligned, something yours. Your life is not behind schedule. Your purpose is not lost. Your future is not uncertain. It is unfolding slowly, beautifully, quietly, right where you are standing. Let hope settle deeper this time. Let yourself believe just a little that something new is forming for you. You are not purposeless. You are becoming. You are not empty. You are not empty. You are clearing space. You are not lost. You are being guided inward, where purpose always begins. Sincerely, you